Okay. So Leeds defense, we always secure the back first. It's a +1 in the back at all times. Okay, always a +1 in the back. So we secure it by, we have our fullback covering their winger. If they have a winger, we have our other fullback covering the other winger. All right. If the winger's out wide, we can get a little closer, but he's responsible for him. All right. We then have center back covering the striker, and we have a free player that has no mark. This is, a typical defense for any system. But in Leeds, they're very strict, very strict that you stay with that man. If this guy comes out here, you would follow him. That's the difference in Leeds. If this guy came out here, you would follow him, and the 10 makes the run, the 6 would follow him. So now that we have the back line, it's +1 in the back. Here's the +1. We secure starting. Who's the next one we secure, Ivan? Who needs to be secured next? The next closest player is the 10.
6. The 6. The 10.
Oh, 10. The 10. So we secure the 10.
Were the blue pieces or the red pieces?
We're the blue pieces. So notice the 6. The 6 can be a little inside the man, okay, but behind. You can also be in front if you think you can take away, any balls on the ground and still help, get back. But make sure he's covered. He's your responsibility. I like just to stay here, ready to step to the guy. So now the next.
I got one question.
Yeah.
So you see how we play with a free man, right, in the back? Once the ball is at that point, that's his job to scream out. Where's the people in the center or the people next to him? He has to align that defense, because once it's out of the 9's hands, it'll basically fall on him. He's the next voice out there, right?
Yeah. So let's go. We'll get to that in a second. Who's going to call it out? But yes, you have to. The guys in the back have to tell the guys in the front what to do. Now the most dangerous piece is, so pretend you're the guy in the back. Who's the most next dangerous piece on the board here? You're answering a little slow, guys. It's the 8. So it's the 8. So someone has to cover the 8. In this case, the 9's closest, but I'll do this to make it clearer. I'll make it the 8. Okay, so the 8 needs to be secure, right? Now we secure the 6, the 3, and the 2. They're all at the same level, right? Always secure the inside to the out. So secure the 6 first. Always secure the middle before the outside, because the goal is in the middle. So the 6 is now secure. The 9 doesn't really have the 6. We're going to get to that in a second. The 9 is actually going to be responsible for the 4 and the 5. You'll see that in a second. So the 10 has to stay here. Obviously, the 7 takes the 3, and the 11 gets inside of the 2, which is, these are the opposing fullbacks, the 3 and the 2 reds. It looks like a 4-2-4. 4 blue, 2-4. No worries, right? Now we find out what's the job of the 9. This is where we call it a sweep, or cutting off the passing lanes to the 2 center backs. You can call it creating a strong side. If the ball gets played out to the 4, the 9 will start off with a run towards. The 9 will start off with a run towards the 5, and then cut the 5 off. He's not cutting off the keeper. He's cutting off the switch of play through the center back. The 9 will then continue to close and try to stop this guy from cutting backwards, if possible, and playing over. Force him forward. That's why you want to kind of bend your run around and force him forward. Okay? Once he does that, it forces 2 people in the waiting room. Hold on. So it forces it's a press. Now we're in a high press. Who are his options? It's not good, right? If the 11 were playing way off, he'd have an easy pass, right? But Leeds or Bielsa, they like to press, and that's what I want us to do. Again, not tomorrow. Tomorrow you guys are kind of like on your own a little. Marcelo will be the coach on the field. But like in general, what do you think is better? Like this, allowing him to turn, or already being here, ready that if he plays it, we put immediate pressure on the ball, right? This is what I prefer. I prefer to put immediate pressure on the ball. I want to take it to the other team. Okay. The 10 also now can. Here's something interesting. I'm going to introduce a concept called a cover shadow. So at this moment, as right now, the 10 should be here, but as the ball is played, he should move here because the ball is going to go here. And now notice what he's done. He's now not only can he press the 2, but he has what's referred to in soccer as a cover shadow on the 6. Cover shadow is a way for you to cover 2 people at once. That's what a cover shadow is. You can press the ball while also covering someone. I like to say a bad player covers nobody. They just stare at the ball and they don't even know what's going on, and they're just standing there. A good player will cover one person. Link to the tactical board. Yeah, hold on. It should be in the group me in the group me though, but I'll post it. One second. Okay, tactical board link is in the chat. So a good player covers one person, right? This would be him covering one person. This would be a decent player. He's taking away, if you try to pass to the 6, he's going to be there to step. But we're gonna try to turn you guys into great players, which is now press the 2 while keeping the 6 in your cover shadow. Careful if the 6 does what? Pops down, you need to be looking behind you, which is going to turn you into a better player. Just like on offense, you have to check your shoulder. You have to check your shoulder on defense. Soccer is a 360-degree game. So you'd have to change your line and press through here. Okay? Yeah, he can chip you, but that ball is going to take longer, and it's very difficult to chip someone when they're bearing down on you. So any ball on the ground is going to be intercepted, and we're scoring. Okay, does that make a little sense? Okay. So we should, at this point, we should aggressively win this ball. Okay, the 9 can do this. The 9 now needs to take away the 5 and the 4 because he can't just do this because what could happen? See that? So the 9 has to look behind him and try to cast a cover shadow on both guys. Make that ball dangerous to send back to the center backs. And then he can close as well. And this is how we press high up the pitch. The higher up the pitch you win the ball, the better chance you have of scoring. Okay, let's reset it. And we'll move the pieces back. The 9, okay. 6 is here. All right. And Marcel, you can take control of a guy if you want, as many as you want. Just put your name on it so I know which ones you have, and I'll control the blank ones. Because not a lot of people, most people have their phones. They don't know to use their, that's better on a computer. Romeric, if you have a computer, please take over a piece. So to reset, we would now, let me reset these guys. The 10 is going to go back to this. Notice the 10 is going back to the 6. The 9 is not responsible for the 6. And I'm going to show you why now. I'm going to show you a mistake. If the ball is played, if the 10 is like sitting back somewhere back here, thinking that the 9 has the 6, the 9 is going to do this when the ball is played, right? And he's going to do this. Well, guess what just happened now? See it? This is the classic mistake people will make. They're going to think that the 9 is covering the 6. Well, now if the ball's played here, the 9 can't leave. He's got to wait. And I don't want the 9 to leave. I want you to recognize that the 10 fucked up and that you have to go, yo, come here, get him. And then he can come up, and then you can cut the lane off. So the 9 has to be very intelligent and not press unless we're all set. But then once it's, so it's almost going to look like the 6 is double teamed, which is fine. Now the ball's played out. Let's say it's played to this side. 9 will curve his run, cut off the 4. Okay. And the 7 will start lurking. Okay. The 9 will press fast and aggressive, allowing a ball to the keeper, but denying the switch to the center back. Because if he plays it to the keeper, we have more time. If he plays it to the keeper, we drop back and everybody resets. Okay. Unless it's a bad ball, then we can press it. And then we wait. And then he plays it again, and we go again. We sweep around the corner. All right. Now, at that point, the 9 bears down on him hard and fast. Okay. And again, you'll see this 3 try to kick out eventually, and the 7 will match it. So when the ball is played, we put immediate pressure. And then again, the 9 can cast a cover shadow on the 4 and the 5. Okay. The 10 now can come in right away. Don't run this way, 10. Watch if you run this way directly at the ball. Okay. By the time you get there, it's played. So you'll see Liverpool do this because they high press. You'll see someone like Salah, before he starts running to the ball, he won't run this way, Salah. What he'll do is he'll run directly into the passing lane, and then he'll press. See what I just did? He'll run directly into the passing lane, and then he'll press. He'll cut the 6 off. He'll still look behind him, even though Salah does this from the wing. But you'll see Salah do it very, very well, the same concept from the wing. Okay? Then the 8 can also – now at this point, the 8 doesn't necessarily need to join the party because the 7's already pressing at that angle. So this would be overkill to take this a lane away as well. So the 8 could hold here. Let's just try to win the ball there. And the 8 should just be ready that if the ball's won, to pop in. All right? But I'd like the 8 to hang here in this situation, as long as he's the 7 is aggressively pressing, taking will cover shadow there. The 8 can you guys can work in tandem. This way, if the ball is won, the 8 can run in the space. We're off to the races. Normally, I would like a cover shadow and the 8 to press too, but it's just kind of overkill at this point because it's the same lane. Like you don't want to waste yourself on defense by covering the same lane as someone else. Okay? If the ball is sent down somehow, okay, this is where the 2 has to deny this. But let's say the 4 is the free man. They're going to stay back, and just in case the 2 gets beat, okay, the 5 is going to still man mark the 9. The 3 can kink in, knowing that, they can only do a big switch. And by the time that ball was switched, the 3 could step out. So the 3 can come in and help a little. Okay, you see it? And then Marcelo, exactly, could take away could cast a cover shadow on the 10. And let's press that 7. And even though we're not winning the ball high of the pitch, next best thing is to win it here. So Marcel could press there, knowing that he still has some help back here, and he still has the free man. But Marcel wants to be careful that if he does this, he needs to. Yeah, if that guy moves, Marcelo, I'll move the guy. Marcel will move. Watch. Let's say Marcel has a cover shadow now, but the 10 is smart and starts to do this. Exactly. You see how Marcelo can keep moving with him and taking it away, taking the lane away. He can even do this to a certain extent. Watch, if you're feeling saucy, and you move the 10 now, Marcelo. You can even look behind you and start to just take that lane away as you're pressing on him, and try to help out because you're taking away all the ground balls. But then you want to be careful there though, and you could just as well to just stay with the 10. When we get this far back, unless we're chasing a result, Marcelo should just stay with the 10. If we're trying to get a goal because we're down a goal, Marcelo could be a little more risky and try to win the ball. But that's, I prefer to do what Marcelo initially did, which is let's just follow the 10's run. And this way we can keep the free man Okay, so does that make a little sense? And the free man never comes out. So if the 9 comes in, it's the 5 that chases him. Okay? If the 9 runs all the way to here, guess what? He chases him. The free man stays free because watch what happens. Now the 10 goes here, and this Marcelo is here. And look, no worries. My center back's out here. Okay. But I still have 4 in the back. The other, the 6 Marcelo followed him. That's Leeds. That's Marcel Bielsa. He just the other zonal defenses in soccer have other mechanisms to solve these rotations. Leeds simply solves them by following the guy. That's how, and keeping a free man. They follow the guy. Other ones, you'd have to learn these slightly complicated systems of when it got, releasing a player to someone else to stay in your zone, whereas Leeds solves it by following them. So in certain respects, Leeds is simpler. But be careful. It's not that simple. Players have trouble doing this. Like, believe me, players have trouble following guys around the pitch. They get lost and they stare at the ball and it's – remember, we have to do this every time the ball's turned over. So, like, watch, let's take an example. Let's say we do steal the ball. They try to send it through the ball. We get it. We attack, all right? The other team starts to move, right? They start to come in to defend, the other team, right? Okay. They start to move. Oh, we start to move, I'm sorry. We're playing up the pitch, right? We're making runs. Okay, we're making runs. Send a ball. Okay. We take a shot from here. Okay. Or a cross. Okay. Now the goalie has the ball. Now's the problem. The goalie has the ball. We have to quickly transition to defense. This is where soccer gets difficult because there's over 250 transitions a game. This is where it's difficult. We have to quickly identify who the center backs are. Everyone's got to identify their man. Look, this guy's covering nobody right now. Everyone. So let's go from the back for the new guys. And Ivan, you're going to help me with this. Okay. So, and Marcelo, you want to move the back line since you'll be doing that tomorrow anyway. But you can do whatever you want tomorrow, like we talked about. But let's just secure the back. Well, we like to do this. We like to secure the back first. We'll get to the front in a second, but we need a man marker on the right eye. We need a man mark. Someone clear that he has the 9. We need them inside their man. We need to secure the most dangerous players first. The most dangerous players are the furthest up in the middle. Then it's the furthest up on the outside. Then it's the next level. So you see Marcelo has secured, except for I'd like this 3 to be inside. See it? See the blue 3? I'd like him inside. Okay. Now, the 5's doing nothing right now. The next most dangerous guy is okay, fair enough. And the 7 is outside his man. We want him, that's fine. You probably want to be right there a little bit, right? Nobody has the 6 right now. He needs to be secure. Because right now, this ball could have just been sent right. Okay, so we secure the 6. And you can see that if you can do this quickly, the 9 can press, but the problem is the 9 could have been pressing the whole time. But let's pretend the goalie has the ball in his hands right now. So we have to quickly secure this, right? So here's the question. Should the 11 be covering the 4 or should be covering the 2?
The 2. The 9 covers the 4 and the 5.
Correct. Now, if the ball was on the ground at the goalie's foot, let me show you something. We're going to show you we're not stupid. If the ball was at the goalie's feet and he was here and he was here, what are we going to do? Cover shadow, cover shadow. This is very Liverpool-like. You take cover shadow on the outside players and you make a pincer move essentially on the goalie. Okay? And very quickly at that point, someone has to secure the 2. So maybe the 8 someone has to make up for the fact that we lost a player, correct? Right? We're not -1 at the top anymore. We're even. So the 8 has to be intelligent and realize, okay, let me just be ready to step to either one. See that? And this is where intelligence comes in soccer. Because we're going to pincer move the keeper right now. It's at his feet, and then he'll blast the ball, and we'll be at least ready. And at that point, Now the 10 has to do what? We're outnumbered. So what does the 10 have to do? What should the 10 do? What's that? Yes. Who moved that piece?
I'm the only person moving pieces.
Okay, so Marcelo saw that it's a 2v1 against him. He's going to just contain. The ball will probably be now played to the 6. Not dangerous. Everyone else will be making what's called recovery runs. Okay, here. And then the 9 can just stay here. Okay, covering the 4 and the 5, ready to step to either one and in a position to counterattack, right? This is perfect. If we recover, if Marcelo holds the 10, the blue 10 holds and contains, we can make our recovery runs and we can be in great shape. And that's the basics of the Leeds defense. Okay. Now I'm going to go over to Leeds, Marcel Bielsa's offense. Okay. So let's get the ball in the back. And the same philosophy holds. So we did the first 30 minutes on defense. We will go offense. So here's the thing for Bielsa's. Thanks, Marcel, for moving them. They like to go the defense likes to go -1 at the top. So you saw that the 9 covered both center backs, right, on defense, right? And they like to go +1 on their back line. Well, they like to remain +1 on their back line on offense. It's very convenient. So if the other team is playing with 3 forwards, 3 strikers, then Leeds plays with 4 in the back. Okay. They like to outnumber them by 1. If they play with 2 strikers, and these guys are more midfielders for red, now Leeds does, I'm only going to show you the back line right now. Leeds does 3 in the back. See it? Let's put a little thing around it. This is the first concept for Leeds' offense we need to understand. And really almost any professional offense. They're always trying to, you always want to have +1 in the back for defensive purposes because scoring in soccer is death. If you let up a goal, it's terrible because soccer's a low-scoring game. So you always want to defend. The modern soccer game is to have more players on defense. But we only want to have 1 more. That's all we need is 1 more. But it actually helps you on offense, believe it or not, because the modern soccer builds out of the back. It's not like back in the day where every ball is blasted down the field. Teams like to play out of the back. Okay, so so this is convenient in a sense that if we play it here, we can, and this looks, we can drag a guy over, okay, play it back, split them. All right, it's a 4v2. Look at this. It's a 4v2. Okay. It's a 4v2. We should win this every time, correct? Because it's a 4v2 because we have the goalie. So we have an extra center back. We should win this every time, guys. Every time we should win this with quality players. That's why teams are able to build out of the back. If they come in with another player, well, now I don't expect us to win it, right? Because this is a problem, right? This is clearly a problem. We're not going to be able to build out now, right? So this is when we have to bring in. If they go with 3 forwards, what do? We counter with this. And now we can beat it, right? Because now if we play out to the 5 and he presses, we can just play out to the fullback, go around, right? We always have the extra man, okay? We not only have 1 extra field player, but we have the goalie. So now it's a 5v3. And when you come to practice, you'll see we'll work on 5v3s. So you can beat that all the time. We'll work on 4v2s. We'll work on 5v3s. It'll help you to build out of the back. Okay. So does that make sense? A little bit? All right. That's the first philosophy of offense that we're going to learn is that we always need to keep a +1 because we're going to try to build. We're going to build out of the back. Then the other philosophy is we have a -1 at the top. Or we have, we have our striker up high. But what we like to do is we want to keep guys high so we can check in. Let me show you the next philosophy. we want to check in. So here's their back line now. Okay. We'll use the winger for this, so it's a little clearer. 6, 8, 10.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up? Was that Amadou? What's up,
What's
Amadou?
good, Mo?
Real quick, Amadou. These tactics are not for tomorrow. They're for long term for Kensington. Tomorrow, I'm going to let you guys. But I do want you to see this because this is what we're eventually leading to. But me and Marcel are talking. We can talk afterwards too. We're gonna let you guys be freewheeling tomorrow, and I don't want to overcoach you. All right. You know how crazy I get with the tactics. I don't want to overdo that tomorrow for you. So I want you just to play. All right. But I want you to learn this. Learn something.
All right.
Okay? So now you notice we have what? Do we have a +1 in the back? Yes. So we're good there, right? We are good. Okay, on our setup. This is what, let's say Pan, our keeper, has the ball. We can now set up with split out wide. Okay. Let's say we're building out of the back. And they're going to press with 3. Okay. Let's set up like this. Now let me show you the next line. And let's say the 6 can now help out. Okay. The 6 will be followed by the 10. All right, just like we do on defense, right? We're going to try to simplify the game here. We want our wingers high and wide to force their back line to stretch. You'll hear this a constant theme of mine on offense. Okay, this is going to now, if they try to play a compact line of 4, look how open the wingers are going to be. If they try to step out to you, look what happens. See the space? Okay. I actually want him on one side, on the blind side. So this, if they want to play compact, which a lot of teams like to do, our wingers will now be able to receive the ball. Now, what do we do with the 8 and 10? So let's say they do this. I want the 8 and the 10 to actually push up into these holes. This is our eventual offense. Again, tomorrow, you guys do what you want. I want you to notice something. What do we have in the back now? This is a 1. Let's expand this out. If we do this, if we stretch this out on like when our keeper has the ball, there's 6 and 8 are going to have to do what? They're going to have to drop to our right. So now we have 4 defenders. 4 defenders on us. And how many offensive guys do we have?
5. Oh, 6. Sorry.
6. It's a 6v4. And if I put quality players in a 6v4 rondo that's like 25 by 25, they can hold the ball for a very long time, right?
Right.
Now imagine we're going to play our home games at Temple Stadium. It is 75 yards wide. Okay. Now imagine 6 quality players against 4, 75 yards wide. I like our chances of playing out of the back, right? And this is what we're going to do. We're going to create space in the middle by pushing the 8 and the R8 and 10 up the pitch. But it all not only does it get if there's a clear separation with space in the middle, it allows it as the 8 and 6 opposing 8 and 6 come up, it will allow us play out, come here if you want, right? These fullbacks actually start to work as midfielders when they have 3 guys pressing. They can actually start to kink in, and it's almost like we're playing. At times, he has to be ready to check out, but we have like that line of these guys have to be very versatile. But he can play out, okay, and it allows for what? A check in. Look at all the space. As he tries to run over, it allows space to check in and get turned. So by going up high, we can now check down into the space. So very, very important. It's something that I'd like us to do, to drag those guys out. If they do something like this and they start to press up high, which you'll see eventually. I'm going to show you how easy would that be to play out, first off. I mean, who thinks this would be just ridiculously easy to play out of, right? Agreed? Everybody agree with that or no?
You're talking about in our defensive third, right? Yeah, it would be easy.
Yeah. So what do you think? Now, soccer is not played in a vacuum. The other team is not idiots. What do you think they're going to start doing?
Pressing.
They're going to press. They're going to get annoyed that we're just playing there. So they're going to push their 8 and their 6 up. Okay? They're going to, if they push their 8 and 6 up, oops, sorry, Pan. We can start just immediately, Pan should be dumping balls in there. Because look at this, guys. In the middle of the pitch, we have a what?
Numerical advantage.
See that? That ball has to be played. It has to be played. This is a mistake by the defense. That ball has to be played there. Okay? And over and over and over again. All right? What will eventually happen if Pan starts doing that, or even if he doesn't, trust me, they're going to start doing this. Anybody's played on any of my teams know that this is what happens. Now it's not a goal kick. Pan has the ball at his feet. They're gonna try to press like this. I need you guys to understand this in case this happens to us going forward. Someone tell me, what do you do in this situation? Especially at Temple, which is 118 yards long, which means there's what is that? 59 yards. This is 59 yards from here to here. What's the play, boys?
Dump it.
You dump it. And I am not a kick and run coach, but because we played out of the back and drew them in, we won. The game's over now. The game's over. You just got to finish it, man. You just got to finish it. It's dump it over. After you do that a few times, okay, then I guarantee you what will happen is they will back up. Now we can't play over the top anymore, but we can do anything the fuck we want in this part of the pitch if we're patient. We still stretch the field. Stretch it. For my team, for Kensington, I want our first defenders to be the front line. The 9, the 10, okay? The 7, the 11. I want these guys to be our first defenders, right? These guys, okay, are our first attackers. That's the philosophy I want us to have. Okay? Is that Marcel?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that, guys.
That's right.
I'm trying to figure out if we made the final or not. I'm just
okay. So this isn't too complicated. There's a lot more that goes into, this, but I'm giving you like the basics, which is like we always try to outnumber them by one field player in the back. That's going to be a constant theme on offense. Like count the numbers. Always be one up in the back on offense and defense. Because on defense, it helps us because now we have a spare man to put out fires behind the line. And on offense, it allows us to play out. The 8 and the 10 have to be mobile players for our team. They got to be mobile because they're going to come out and they will check in. They will check in. Like if the ball gets played out here and he starts dribbling up and he gets pressed and the 10 cuts this off, the 8 should do what? The 8 can check in. The 11 can stay there. Maybe the 8 checks in, right? And the ball is played, but look at all that space. And then maybe sucks them in and the ball is played in. All right. So there's lots of things you can do once we did. So what this offense does is what did we do to the defense when we I have a question because it goes to the philosophy of a defense is supposed to be compact, right, between the lines, compact vertically and horizontally. So what did we do to the defense in this situation, right? Are they compact from goal to goal? No. They've lost their one of the principles of play, which is compactness. Okay, so we've created space in the middle. Well, we like to create space in the middle for us to check into, and they'll never know where it's coming from. It could come from anywhere. Okay, it could come from the 7, could check in, and then the 10 could check out. So we keep the middle clear so we can rotate. All right. We keep the middle clear so we can rotate. So does anybody have any questions on any of that? It's only the basics.
I don't have a question.
I don't.
I have a comment. All right, who is that? Go for it.
No, I just say I don't.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
this stuff
yeah,
can
Marcel.
it could be really weird at first. I remember when I was playing with you guys in the summertime and we were running this offense and I would get the ball as the number 6 in the middle and I'd be like, where the fuck is my midfield at? You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
like, it takes a while to get used to, and unless you really buy into it and understand it, it's not going to work. Right. And that's one of the reasons that we're not going to do it tomorrow is because it's a little, I wouldn't say it's advanced, but it's different, right? It's like a new style of soccer and it's definitely kind of pushing the boundaries in terms of how people have played before. So what I'm trying to say is essentially we won't be able to do this unless the whole team understands how to do it,
Agreed.
Yeah.
So let me give since Amadou's here and Pan's here and Gavin's here and Wilson's here. I talked to Wilson about this. We'll give you me and Marcel's basic plan. We will not be doing what I just taught here to the senior team, the A team right now. Okay. But the B team will run this every game. They ran it today. They will run it every game. They will run it every game because I don't care about those results. And sometimes by like Marcel's point is by trying something this advanced, you could actually end up losing. But we don't care if the B team loses. No offense to the B team, but there are developmental players. So that's where we're going to build our club philosophy is with the B and the C team. But we will slowly, as you are comfortable, introduce concepts to the A team because the A team, we have to get results. So that being said, why don't we can show them, what the plan is tomorrow, and we can take a little bit to go over the tactics for tomorrow, Marcelo, since, again, you don't have to do any of this stuff I'm telling you.
Bring it up. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. So I think we had it on. Give me a second. If you're part, Marcel, you'll have to join the thing again. So let me just leave this conference. And I believe I have it here. Aha! There we go. So let me share. Let me create a conference so Marcel can move pieces around. And we'll spend the last 11 minutes, 10 minutes going over tomorrow. Let me post that in the chat if anybody else can join and control pieces. And I'll post it on the Kensington Player Pool Group Me, the new tactical link. Okay. So I'll let Marcelo talk. Oh, wait. Stop sharing this tab. I got to share a different tab. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right tab. Hold on. Okay. Do you see the one with Amadou's name and T-Ben and Wilson? Okay. So I'm going to let Marcelo coach now, and I'm going to shut up as much as I can.
All right. So I spoke to Jim earlier. It's important that we get off on the right foot and that we get a win week 1. Just to get things started, So looking at the roster we had, obviously I've played with some of these players before, and Jim is actually, let's see, Jim only knows Jake, Gian, me, obviously. I think everybody else is pretty much new to the team, right? So what we're trying to do is just kind of put a starting 11 out there that we believe will win, and this doesn't really have to do with tactics. It just kind of has to do with getting the most out of the guys that we have available for tomorrow, right? So if you look at starting from the back, we have Pan, who's our number 1 keeper, right? Gavin and I as the two center backs, Jake playing the left back position, and Asher playing the right back position. Those 4 players have played with each other pretty frequently. I feel like we have a good chemistry, and defensively, I think, we will be able to get the shutout. So that's a good back line, and pretty safe, pretty sturdy. The midfield. So let's see. We have 2 people actually that are in the midfield. These 4 players, I think, are our strongest players. They're all Lone Star players. They've all played together before. Mo, you know Condi, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. And then Wilson, I'm sure you know Condi too. Condi's a strong player. Condi is big, physical, fast. He moves around, so he's really going to be our defensive mid. He's going to be the shield. T-Ben is a workhorse. He goes up and down. Wilson, same thing. Mo, one of the cleverest, most classy players around. And so really we're looking to win the game with these 4 players. And that's the reason we put them in the midfield, is because they all play at a very high level. They've all played with each other before, and they understand the game really well. So the reason that we have a square around that is just to indicate that we're expecting a lot out of those players. And we put you guys there together for a reason, and that is so that you guys can control the game from start to finish. I think that if we give those 4 players the ball, and they're holding on to it, they're creating opportunities, they're moving the ball forward, they're giving the ball to our strikers in dangerous positions, that's the game right there. So tactically, there's a lot that we want to do with this team, but for right now, just by having those 4 players play in the midfield and play the way that they do, I think that we'll have a really, really good shot at winning tomorrow. And then on top of that, we got Gian and Gerard, right? So with those 4 players creating, we're going to look to feed Gian. We're going to look to feed Gerard. And those will be our goal scorers, But Mo, T-Ben, Condi, and Wilson, those are going to be our creators. Those guys are going to dictate the entire game from start to finish, So
and can I say something, Marcel? And like I said, Marcelo's what I'm going to be doing from the sidelines is I'm not going to be talking to you guys. I'm going to be talking to Marcelo. And then he's going to basically, I'm going to tell him an idea, and if he doesn't like it, he's just going to ignore me, because I want him to kind of coach us on the field, and I want you guys to play free. But here's an example that I think something might happen. If Gian likes to check in, so I can see this working very well, where Gian likes to try to draw to the ball, so we start him up high, and he might want to check down right in for the ball. Let's say T-Ben's out wide, Gian checks down. That allows Amadou to Gian checks in, allows Amadou to go up, or vice versa. If he sees Amadou go, maybe Gian will just fill in. Okay, so it allows some flexibility. I don't really know Gerard that well. He seems to like to go forward, which is why we have him at the 9, which is good. And
he's very, very fast, and he can put away chances. So yeah. Really, what we're looking to do is just, get those 4, players in the midfield to knock the ball around, to open up spaces, and to slide the strikers through. And if you guys can find opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net, go for it. You guys are all skillful players. But really, that's why we put you 4 in the midfield, because we really believe that you guys are capable of, controlling the game, of winning the game. So, Mo, I know T-Ben, I know Wilson, obviously, right? Condi, that's a pretty good midfield. I don't think there's too many people or too many teams that can, keep up with that. If you guys are all over the pitch, taking touches, turning on defenders, playing through balls, it's going to be really difficult for them. So our job is easy, right? Our job is just to literally, keep the ball out of the back of the net, get you the ball, and then you guys take over, plain and simple. And that's kind of by design. We want to make it as simple as possible, because, we haven't played together before, and the stuff that Jim is talking about tactically takes some time to work on. But we figured that with these 4 players in the midfield and the surrounding players supporting them, we're going to give ourselves a really good opportunity to win. So
now, as far as substitutions, we don't want anybody staying. We want you out there. There's a reason why Marcel and myself picked these 11 players, because we want, we think you're the best 11. But that doesn't mean that at a certain point in the game, you might not be the best 11 anymore because of, even professional players. Everybody understands this. They sub them out, even the stars, right? Everybody knows that, right? So at a certain point, we may be getting what's called diminishing returns from our starters. So, I don't know you guys that well. So it helps if you really want to win. If you really want to win, you got to be honest and maybe say, like, look at the bench. I want you guys to look at the bench, right? We got this Abdullah Dibba. He's an incredible player. He's like 6'7". He's ready to come in. Cesar plays for Fishtown in Casa. He's incredible. Really good player. All right. We have, Najee and Alex Avendano, who are very solid players that could, if you're really tired, they can come in. And in deeper bench, we have Johnny Ventura and Max. Okay. So just be aware that, like, if someone feels as though you can't, you're going to be a liability at some point because you're too tired, we can get somebody in. All right. Just be aware of that. But we're going to try to play you. I'm going to try to get you in. I'll be able to tell if you're not tracking back on defense or something. It's going to be clear, right? Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I just want to get some input from the rest of the team. Like, do you guys think that this is, a good lineup? What would you do differently? Do you think that we have everybody in the positions to like, for example, I just wanted to, like, would you want to switch me and Condi? Or do you want Condi to play in the midfield with you guys? Like, little stuff like that, I feel like could have a big impact on the, the game. So, yeah, just
I think you specifically want to hear from Wilson, and
yeah,
I'd like to hear from Wilson and Amadou. So I already heard from Gavin earlier. We had a meeting. He jumped in the meeting. So specifically Wilson and Amadou. Is there anything you'd like to change about this, formation going into tomorrow?
Not much I could change because I don't really know the back line, but I just know a few players like Mohammed.
So Mohammed, T-Ben, right?
I know Gian for sure. So I haven't really seen the rest of the other guys play, so I can't really talk about changes or whatever. Yeah. But for my position, I'm thinking I'm comfortable in that position.
So let me get this straight, Wilson. You know Mo. Do you know T-Ben? Wilson, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My bad. I didn't hear you. I think you're breaking up a little bit.
He keeps dipping out.
Yes.
Okay, and then Condi too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the idea here, is that you guys are all familiar with each other and you're really strong players. So we want to group you guys together, all right? And we want you to link up with the rest of the team. Like, we kind of want you to pull the strings, and that's just kind of like the strategy that we have week one, and it didn't really take us long to come to that conclusion, but we figured to ourselves, like, okay, the back line all know each other, the midfield all know each other, right? Let's just get the midfield to control the game. Let's get the back line to keep a clean sheet. Have the strikers, open up, take a couple opportunities. That's a pretty good strategy, considering that nobody's played with each other before. And, a lot of guys don't understand the tactics that Jim and the rest of the team is trying to pull off.
All right.
And I know already, guys. Here's what I prepared you for tomorrow. The one player I know for a fact is Gian. He's not going to stay up high the whole time. He's going to want to check down to the ball, but that's a good thing. I want you to utilize that if you can. He's going to want to check into the ball, okay? Which he'll either get the ball, because he won't be. If, let's say, he's followed, then that means that Amadou can make a run, right? Okay, but if he's not followed, Amadou can still, make a run outside, like exchange positions. He's going to want to drop into the midfield, which I think is going to allow our midfield players like Amadou and Wilson and T-Ben to become forwards and interchange with Gian. Then Gian goes back up. We get reset. Gian goes back up. And this will give us natural movement. Amadou comes back when the ball's like out of bounds, let's say. We get reset. Then it can happen again. Gian can check in. Amadou can come out. It'll give us like a natural movement. If you always reset with Gian up top, like don't let Gian stay back there, or else it defeats the purpose of him being up, right? So whenever there's a throw in or something, reset. You know what I mean? Because he naturally likes to drop in. And that'll give us this great movement, in my opinion. So try to reset that all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's going to happen. Just like I know Gian, I know Mo, and Mo's the type of player that he'll find spaces all over he'll really play box to box and find the spot every time. So that's kind of what we're expecting from him, from T-Ben, right, who can play box to box, from Wilson. So I just want to let you guys know, like, we're really, counting on you guys in the midfield to kind of pull the strings and to kind of dictate the terms of the game. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it for our first week. That is a solid starting 11, and we're only going to add players to the mix to make it more competitive. So, yeah, let's get it.
Thanks, it's good. I'm very excited, and we're gonna have a lot of fun tomorrow. Just to reiterate, like, I want to get there early, like, because we want to set that precedent now. This is semi-professional. We want to get promoted from this league to the next level, even after this. We have more teams that are entering this EPSL in the spring. I've already gotten word that this is going to explode, guys. And we want Kensington to be the best team in the whole area. But we have to start acting professional to get there. Getting there early, holding guys accountable, to be at tacticals, to be at practice, to be on time for games, and we'll keep the warm up loose. It's not really going to be tactical, even though I put that in the warm up. It'll be water break. Just get yourselves loose with a little rondo, and then we'll, but we want to be there early to set a precedent that we mean business. We can't be strong.
I got one question.
Yeah, good.
Then there should be like EPSL tacticals just for EPSL players.
Who's this talking?
Ivan.
Who?
Ivan.
Oh, Ivan. No, there's going to be. We're a club. Everyone's together. The club.
And Ivan, you understand this. You've been doing this for a whole summer, so I feel like your understanding and your knowledge of it is probably better than mine. So having you here is a really good thing for everybody.
Yeah, you're gonna have to help bring everyone else along, Ivan. The faster we get this, like, this is club wide. We're just, easing into it with the new players, because Ivan, better than anybody. This takes a while to learn. Like, you might be more advanced than the other people, but like other people, as Marcel has been saying, it takes a while to learn. You just learned it faster than a lot of people. But
I remember I was playing a game and I'm yelling at Ivan, telling him, dude, where the hell's my midfield? You're supposed to check back. Like, what the hell's going on here? Every time I get the ball, I'm by myself. Ivan's like, dude, that's the tactics. Like, you don't get it.
Yeah. So
let's
let everybody go. Yeah, Wilson, you have a question?
Oh yeah, sorry to interrupt. I gotta leave, so I'm
we're
gonna just text you. All right.
We're gonna end it. We're gonna end it now anyway. We're gonna officially end it. I'm gonna stop recording, and anybody who wants to hang out can hang out for like the post chat. So I'm gonna end it officially. All right. I'm gonna stop it.
You play with Sierra Leone?
Yeah.